Okay. So what I was saying is we want people to like us, and we feel our worth depends on people liking us. But very often, even after people like us, we enjoy the attention, but our self-esteem doesn't actually improve. So then my question to you all was, what determines our self-esteem? So right now, if you had to tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is I'm horrible, I'm wretched, the worst creature on this planet. 10 is I am so awesome, there's nobody better than me. What are you in terms of self-esteem? And ideally, all of us would like to say 5, but that's not the truth. Because no one wants to be conceited and no one wants to have low self-esteem, but that's not the truth. So what actually do you think is your esteem at this point in time? You don't have to say it out loud, but have you figured it out? What your esteem is? Yes? Everyone knows? Anyone above 7? Very good. Like I said, 70% of the population has low self-esteem. Okay, so what determines it? What's determining my self-esteem? Oh, nice. Achieving goals. Is that true for everyone? It's true for everyone? Yes? Oh, no, there's a syndrome, right? What's that syndrome called? Imposter syndrome. Have you all heard of this? Yeah. You're very successful, but you feel your success is a bit. But they're properly successful. They're not faking it. They actually achieved A+ in the exams. They actually started up a company. They actually invented something. And so people are congratulating them and saying, wow, well done. And they're thinking, but I didn't do much. You've heard of this? You felt this? I've definitely felt this. Huh? People would praise me. I'd be like, huh? Who? What? Humility doesn't mean you don't feel good about yourself. Humility is lovely, but humility usually good self-esteem. In fact, to have humility, you have to have good self-esteem. When you have low self-esteem, it's not humility. It's you feeling bad about yourself. Humility is awesome. And yes, possibly when somebody says, wow, you brought so many kids' books on Amity, they're amazing. I'm thinking, yeah, I guess so. And honestly, it's all Swamiji's teachings and all of this. So yes, possibly, potentially, it could be humility. But in another case, it could be like, no, I'm not that good. Thank you for saying so, but really, I'm not that good. So they actually feel they're not good. I see it often. Where they've done something amazing and they don't think it's good. I teach children, right? So I see it often. Okay, so for some people, achieving goals helps improve self-esteem, but not true for everyone. Also, if you think of the most famous people in the world, who would you list? Not current, just in all of history, who have been the most famous people in the world? Gandhi. I don't think he was sitting in an ashram. Gandhi is not the most famous person in the world. Huh? Marilyn Monroe. Would you all think Marilyn Monroe was so famous? Yes? Michael Jackson for sure. I said this in a Barbie art class. I was talking about rock concerts. I told you all this? They looked at me as though I had never been anywhere remotely trendy. I said, of course I've been to rock concerts. Of course I've been. They were like, really? Who have you been to? And I said, Michael Jackson. They were like, wow. I was like, oh, he's that famous. And my Barbie art kids respect me because I went to his concerts. How was his self-esteem? We know, right? And horrible self-esteem. Really, really, really low self-esteem. That's why he would have all those plastic surgery. That's why he was on oxygen. Even though some of the wordings in his songs were really brilliant. And he had depth, not much self-esteem. So Is it a criteria? Not necessarily. Okay. Then what determines our self-esteem? How important I am to others? How would I quantify that? How would you quantify that? How would I quantify how kind I am, how honest I am? So very subjective. So then my self-esteem is based on something very subjective. Also, am I consistent? In my kindness, am I consistent? In my honesty, am I consistent? In my, I use my, are we? Are we consistent? Sometimes, sometimes not. But it's a very, very subjective measure. Much I bring to others. And when is it enough? Made you happy enough, I've loved you enough, I've given you enough. Which is why it's a hard thing to measure. On a scale of 1 to 10, have I given you enough? How to measure that? Yeah, plenty. No need to give you any more. But I like that can be measured. Subjectively. Would it be how good a person I think I am? Is that what this is? Like I just think I'm honest and I'm good. Or I think I'm what? Usually most people say to me that I'm a good person. Actually, next person I should ask what they mean by that. People say to me very often, isn't it enough? I'm a good person. Is that what you mean? No. No. I actually make somebody's day better. I make somebody smile. That's what determines my worth. If I hurt someone, I think worse of myself. Okay. But this is a subjective evaluation of me. Yeah, seeing how much another person is benefited or hurt by my actions. That's what I'm saying, right? Okay. So my esteem is measured by that. Okay. What else determines our esteem? I think in the 7.8 billion people that exist in that planet, maybe 100 do that. Whether or not I can fulfill my desires. So similar to this, achieving goals or even desires as in, I want to go and get pizza and I can get it. But that's why I gave you the example of Michael Jackson. Which desire didn't he fulfill? He had a playground in his house, he had oxygen tank, he had couldn't possibly get more famous than him. I think the only person who was as famous as Michael Jackson is Elvis Presley. That's quite a league of famous to be in. He wanted to look different, he made himself look different. He wanted to be fairer, he made himself fairer. Like literally, I don't think there's a desire he didn't fulfill. But you don't have to be Michael Jackson to be insecure. I'll introduce you to my teenagers that come every Saturday. I think that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Because there are singers, artists who are very self-confident. Jim Carrey is not a singer. Okay, a league of being able to fulfill desires. Wanted to write a kid's book, a kid's book. He wanted to, when they want to be able to do things, they can do things. They have the resources to be able to do it. They have the wealth, they have the influence, they have the, I can't think of another one. I don't know recent artists also. I know only my day artists. But there are some who are very deep self-confident. Well, maybe not 100% self-esteem, but not the level of insecurity that Michael Jackson had. Even if you look in India, someone like Lata Mangeshkar, it's a guy that makes awesome music. It's definitely singers that are confident, actors that are confident. So you can't say everyone in the industry is insecure. Well, 75% of the population is insecure. We all have low self-esteem. 75% of the population is quite a high number. Rayman. I don't know him personally, but he seems okay. He seems really self-confident and self-composed. Of course, we never know. It's only an appearance. But sometimes it's so evident, right? Like in Michael Jackson, it was so evident. His low self-esteem. Okay, what determines our self-esteem? Okay, let me ask you another question. Are we currently determining our self-esteem? Or has it been decided and we just go in with what's decided? Is it something that's changing based on events that are presently happening? Or is it something that has been fixed in like settings into our head and then it's just there? What do you think? Does it change or doesn't it change? That's a close-ended question, which is a bad way to start a discussion. But let's start with that. Oh, interesting. So it does change from day to day. That's what you're always saying. When somebody's upset with me, my self-esteem is worse. Yeah. When somebody's praised me that day, my self-esteem is a bit better. Yeah. But there's a baseline off which I work. So do I go back to that baseline when nothing particular has happened? Is that how it works? You all tell me. All of us have self-esteem. It's not like I'm telling you all something that you all don't know about. You all are all experiencing it on a regular basis. And because each one of us experience it so different, it's worthwhile knowing what you all say. So it varies depending on who you're with. Yeah, in fact, that's one of the things the scriptures say very often. The company we keep drastically affects the way we think. So very much in line with what scriptures say. Who we around does affect how we feel about it. Not only how we feel about ourselves and self-esteem, but it affects the values we are practicing. Like in certain communities, that particular value is so emphasized. Like in Germany, eco-friendly is so emphasized. Then somewhere elsewhere, maybe not as emphasized. In countries like India, devotion, so emphasized. Manila also. It's such a devout community. Other countries like America, it doesn't feature as much. Devotion is there, but it's not like mainstream. So yes, the community or the people we're surrounding ourselves with, why the community and of course our close contact definitely does affect the way we think. So in that point of view, does self-esteem change depending on who I'm with? Or is it like what she said, there is a basic self-esteem and then it's just slightly improved or decreases based on who I'm with? Or is there no base and it just changes? It is constantly changing. When do you think it gets determined? 6? 8 or 6? Interacting with friends is when determines self-esteem. Interesting. So only at 6 when we start making friends. We start experiencing the world, which is at 6. I don't know if let that more. So it's determined in kid stage. Nice. Very nice. You were going to say something? When you start choosing what to think. Is that what you mean by navigating your own thoughts? When I start to understand myself, my self-esteem improves. When did it get created though? When did you start being able to navigate your thoughts? When you form an opinion of yourself, which you think would have been around when? Patani. Introspect. Anyone else? It's constantly changing and it got formed when I learned how to think. Mm. So if I have low self-esteem, nothing affects me and it stays low. And if I have high self-esteem, nothing affects me and it stays high. Yeah, I've seen this happen. Yeah. Although you're saying it changes day to day. If that's your experience of it, then that's the truth, right? Because it's your self-esteem. Okay, I'll give you a few facts as a master's in psychology, which I hardly ever use. So let me every now and then use it. By the time you turn 4 years old, 50% of your brain is already developed. By the time you turn 6, 80% of your brain is already developed. So your self-esteem, interesting that you chose 6. 80% of your brain is already developed. Is self-esteem already developed in that 80%? Yeah. Another very important point. You can change anything and everything at any time. So that 80% of your brain that's already developed by the time you turn 6 can be changed at any given point in time. It's not fixed. Do we change it is another question. So when I said self-esteem is, there's a baseline and it doesn't really go up and down, sometimes we just don't change it. It got fixed at the age of 6 and we just never bother changing it. So if it's low self-esteem, it's low self-esteem. If it's high self-esteem, it's high self-esteem. Although I agree, from day to day, we do feel different about ourselves. So I'm going to introduce y'all to a wonderful word, which y'all all know, but maybe don't realize the impact that you'll have, that it has on your life. Did I spell it right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Your self-esteem is a belief. Is it a truth? No. It's simply a belief. When did you create this belief? Chances are before you turn 6. Chances are before you turn 4. And then you're very right. When I go back and navigate my thoughts and decide to change it, it changes. But we have to go in and actually change. We don't have to change a thought. We have to change the belief. That's why saying, I love myself the way I am, doesn't change the belief. Saying something doesn't change what I believe. Give you an example. Lots of people will say they don't believe in God, including our Gurudev, and then he would say his prayers every night. So you can say, I don't believe in God, but it's not true. Or when you fight with someone, you can say, I don't love you. Or you could say, I hate you. It's not true. I actually love them deeply. I'm just saying it. So even with ourselves, me saying, I am worthy, I am a wonderful person, I am confident, I am, if I'm just saying it, nothing happens. Do I believe it? So it's like, have I ever given you all this example? It's like settings on the phone. or your computer. Once you put it in settings, it's there. Default, that's what will come up. Can you change it? For sure. Do we change it? Hardly ever, right? But sometimes we'll think, oh, this is really not working. Go to settings. Switch off all notifications. Go to settings. Put phone on grayscale. How often are we going to do that? We hardly ever go into settings. So belief is the settings that is there in our subconscious mind. It's not conscious mind. Our beliefs exist in our subconscious mind. And we have determined something, our worth is based on something. And very right, it's usually other people's approval. Interesting that you said friends, because it's very often parents. It's the people we want approval the most. We cannot blame our parents for low self-esteem, because we have passed the age of 3 long ago. We could have gone to settings 1,000 times and changed it. And they actually adore us, love us, and want us to have good self-esteem. They begging us to have good. I love you so much. Why can't you see it? We the ones are like, no, but I'm so useless. So we can't blame them. But chances are, at some point, we did feel rejected or we did feel disapproved, because which parent hasn't scolded their kid and which parent hasn't made the kid feel like, why did I even have you? They probably didn't mean it at that moment, but we've all felt it at some point in our lives or the other, which is our insecurity, not their doing. But then it creates a belief. And if we let that belief stay, it stays as settings. Somebody praises me, and I'm very happy that day. And then I go back to default setting. I heard somebody, they crying, I feel horrible. The next day, I will go back to default setting. So, how to change default setting? How to change this belief? It's to understand what makes our self-esteem. And the thing is, as we've been seeing this whole class, we're not sure what makes it. So then how to create it? Okay, so there's different types of worth. What are the different types of worth? Let's not talk about us. Let's talk about a flower. There's the aesthetic worth of something. Then, utility. So flower's utility will be aromatherapy, perfume, possibly medicinal. Yeah. So we have an aesthetic worth, we have a utility worth. What else do we have? Maybe not with flour, maybe like with a spoon. The utility value is very high. Something has a financial worth, correct. In today's world, very much so. Things have a financial worth and monetary value. So we have aesthetic value, utility value, financial value, and they can be very different. Something like a spoon, so incredibly useful, but it doesn't cost much. And then you can spend something like 100,000 on what? Some picture on a computer that you can't even really see. FIR, so those called NFT. Like they're so expensive, and then what's the utility value of those things? Really, not much, right? But they can be quite. They get the utility value.
No.
They're just investments. I don't know enough about that. You have to tell me. I might have misunderstood. But what I'm trying to say is the utility can be so high and it's so valuable that the monetary value doesn't match it. There are other things also that are highly expensive but not at all useful. I can't think of anything right now. So monetary value, utility value, aesthetic value, and at least one more I can think of. Sentimental value. Things have sentimental value. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do all of them apply to me? Or was there any other value anyone can think of? Longevity, continuity of existence. Yeah, it lasts. Definitely. In fact, it's highly desirable for things to last. Okay, do all those values apply to me? Aesthetic value, do we apply it to ourselves? Yes, we care so much about how we live. Utility value, do we apply it to ourselves? That's what you were saying, right? That one was utility value. How useful am I in your life, or in general? Am I fulfilling a purpose? We have this incredible need to fulfill purpose. Utility value. I'm useless because I'm not fulfilling a purpose. Everyone else is doing something amazing. I'm doing nothing. Right? That's low self-esteem definitely generated from that kind of thinking. Looks also generates incredible self-esteem issues. And it's very interesting that other people can think I look nice, but I don't think I do. And so it comes back to, oh, I don't get out, but that belief comes back to belief. Monetary value applies to us. For sure. We give a lot of value to them. Right, wrong, different story, but we give. And then what was the other one? Sentimental value applies to us. Yep, our relationships, how much we mean to other people, how much they mean to us. Is that our value? A collection of these? Add up aesthetic value, sentimental value, utility value, monetary value. That's how much I am worth. Is that how it works? Are you nodding? You're scared to know. Yes? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for a very definite answer. Yes? So they add to our base value when we attain these values. It can. It can. What I'm trying to make you all see is that's whatever we believe. If I believe my value is aesthetic and I believe I look good, my self-esteem goes up. If I believe my value is 3 out of 10, doesn't matter how good I look, it stays 3 out of 10. Are you getting that? Is that clear? If I believe my value is, if people like me, then I am valuable, then my self-esteem improves when people like me. If I believe no, I'm 7 out of 10, whether they like me or not, and everybody in the room can hate me, and I'm still good. I'm still 7 out of 10. My self-esteem is whatever I believe. It's not a truth. It's not based on actual facts. It's completely subjective. That's why all of us have such different self-esteems, and that's why all of us get to our self-esteem in such different ways. That's why it's so different, right? Some of y'all said, yes, it does change. Some of y'all says, no, it doesn't change. That's why some of y'all said, if you have your goals and you're able to achieve them, you have good self-esteem, and the other people have achieved every goal under the sun and has imposter syndrome. Then you have this, 40-year-old Amma in South India who is huge and with this big mole and balding and thinks she's amazing. Very self-secured, very confident, very no aesthetic. Well, in the general sense, everyone is beautiful, but in that conformed way of beauty, she doesn't fit the criteria. Why? She thinks she's awesome. She's awesome. Self-esteem is not factual. There's no fact making self-esteem. It's just whatever I decide. Why have we decided to make it low? Something happened somewhere in the past. I forgot what happened. I just remember the feeling. I believed it to be true. We could. But good self-esteem doesn't make me arrogant. So let me define self-love and self-esteem. Good self-esteem and what actual self-love is. Literally, I am not better than anyone else. I am not worse than anyone else. I am just me. Like an apple is different to an orange, and an orange is different to a dragon fruit, and a dragon fruit is different to a grape. They're just different, and grape is grape, and apple is apple, and orange is orange. Good self-esteem isn't I feel better than you. Good self is just, this is me. I'm not better than you, I'm not worse than you, I'm just me. But when we have low self-esteem, and we think building it up by things like aesthetics or monetary value, then yes, it could lead to arrogance. Because I'm more beautiful if it's aesthetic value, and I'm arrogant and I think I'm better than you. I have more money than you, so I'm arrogant and I'm looking down at you. I got better grades and I'm looking down. So if something outside determines my worth, like aesthetics, like money, like popularity, then there is the danger of looking down on other people. And that's why I'm trying to really emphasize that these things are not creating our worth. I'm not better because I have good grades, and I'm not worse if I don't have good grades. My worth is not based on grades. I'm not better if I'm better looking, or worse if I'm not looking. And also, what's good looking is so relative and subjective. I just look the way I look. And you look the way you look. And so the truth is, there's no judgment that creates our worth. But we introduce judgment to create our worth. And the judgment that we use to create our worth then makes us feel lower than others or better than others. And so it's low self-esteem or arrogance. But that's not who we're meant to be. It's meant to be, this is just me. I'm not better, I'm not worse. And that's why we need to be so aware, right? That's why I liked what you said. Navigate my thoughts is be aware that when a thought comes into my head, oh, they don't like me, I must be horrible. Believe. I believe my worth is based on what other people think, but that's not a truth. Delete. Go to settings. Delete this belief. Replace it with I am me. Just the way I'm meant to be. And in fact, when I stop determining my worth by financial aesthetics, my success, I'll actually be able to be me. Because I'm so worried about what you're thinking about me, because I'm so worried I need to be successful, because I'm so worried I need to be thin, tall, beautiful, I can't be me. I'm trying to be successful, I'm trying to be thin, I'm trying to be beautiful, I'm trying to be popular, I'm not being me. But when my worth is just this is me, I'll actually be me. And when I'm me, someone else like me, so I'll be a beautiful version. Whereas there's a hazard than to all beautiful people. Actually, no, we don't need to add to that. It's enough. Okay. Before I open up for questions, I want to give you all a scenario. Okay, let's say there was a fire in the next building or in this building, and then you get the news, 3 people died. What's our reaction? Very sad.
Shock.
Shock. Oh my God, who? Really? You'll ask who? Oh, because you know the building. Was it farming? Okay, random building in Hong Kong, 3 people died. It's just another story. We don't feel that sad. It's true, we've become a bit now, but we'll think loss. We'll feel loss?
Loss, yeah.
Even if it's not very personal or intense, there's a sense of, oh, not nice, right? People died. Do we ask, were they good looking?
No.
I'll only feel sad and bad that they died because they were good looking. If they were ugly, it's okay, they could have died. Really? Really? Or if plane crash and 150 people died. I'm sure there's some good looking people in those 150. That's when one person dies randomly. I'm trying to say like a natural event, like it's not natural, plane crash or some earthquake and stuff. We get a number. This many people die. Do we ever think? We'll immediately think, okay, earthquake happened, plane crash, people die. We'll think, that's unfortunate. That's a loss. Do we ever think, no, it's not a loss. Were they good looking? Only then it was a loss. Do we actually think that? Were they rich? Do we ask? Only if they're rich, it's a loss. Even then, what do we feel? Very good. They were all criminals. Let them die? No, I don't think I'd feel that. Even then, I'd think, yeah, they're human beings. So when you hear a plane crash and 150 people die, you think that? You feel sadder for them because they left alone. Actually, that happened in India when COVID really hit. So many families lost so many family members. Families were harmed. I don't know if there's a worse and better is what I'm trying to say. So I know one family where both parents died and the kids were left. I know one family where both the kids died and the parents were left. I don't know which one. I don't know if you could say which one's worse. I don't know a family where all have passed, but I'm sure it has happened. But what I'm trying to say, is there a better or is there a worse? So when someone dies, what's lost? Whatever the age, whatever the scenario. Very good. But the initial reaction when we hear of death, the loss is life. What's our work? Why do we feel sad when someone dies? Life. Life is our work. Then when we start thinking, were they successful, were they rich, were they beautiful, were they popular? That's our conditioning kicking in. We socially conditioned to think that way. Oh, they were beautiful, it's worse. Oh, they were wealthy, what a pity. They don't get to spend their money. Oh, they were so intelligent, they could have done so much with it. But initial reaction is not that. Initial reaction is death, is loss. What's lost? Life. What's our worth? We are loving. We totally underestimate how precious that is. Every day we get to live. We get to choose what we want to do, who we want to love, what we want to be. And every day we can start over. Even if I was horribly rude and extremely arrogant up until now, from this moment onwards, I can decide to be more compassionate and patient. If I was extremely insecure and careless and irresponsible up till now, from this moment onwards, I can decide to be present, responsible. If my whole life I just took everything for granted, in this moment I can have gratitude. Right? It's like that's our worth. Our worth is we are alive, we can change. And even if we don't change, we are alive. We don't give that worth. We don't give life itself worth. We give into the social conditionings of looks, popularity, success. Those are social conditionings. They beliefs, they're not truths. That's not our worth. So also, we do this often. The BMI chart, you're familiar with it, right? Where do we base our worth? Usually here. What the body looks like, how intelligent we are, how much we've accomplished. This dies. Body dies, mind and intellect keep changing. The only thing that lasts is life, truth. Oh, what's my real worth? The one that lasts, right? That's what you had said earlier. Body doesn't last even while we're living because it changes so much. Right now, you're very young and dynamic. Wait. Changes. What lasts though Even after the body dies, form lasts, life lasts, we continue to exist without the body. That's our worth. What continues even after body dies, after this lifetime dies. What we think is our worth, we've made it our worth. We've chosen that to be our worth. So when we're talking about self-esteem, we really have to go into settings. Okay. Now you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. How do we go into settings? So firstly, alertness of mind to know what I'm thinking. So me to be aware of what I'm feeling, actually feeling first. What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling bad about myself. I'm feeling I am no good. I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling, and then once I become aware of the feeling, to start noticing exactly what it is I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking is causing me to feel the way I'm feeling. And then once I identify the thought, then choose another thought to replace this thought. So something like, if I think I'm so dumb, then what would we replace this thought with? I need. When I'm thinking I am dumb and I have to change settings, I can't write essay. Settings is very short. I am learning, I am growing. Yeah. I'm not done. Yeah, that's nice. In fact, when I first came to Hong Kong, I had heard that song. I'm still working. No, he's still working on me. You heard this song? It's a Christian church song. I am work in progress. God's still working on me. I can't remember the exact words. I love that song. I'm work in progress. That is definitely a mindset for us to have. So, anyone else? What do I put in settings? I am divine. Huh? I am dumb to I am divine? How does that work? Shouldn't it be I am intelligent? No. So if I think I'm so ugly, what should I go and put in settings? I am divine. I'm so useless. I never get anything right. Everyone hates me. What should I put in settings? I am divine. Why is this what I am saying you should put in settings? Because it's lasting. Also, it's true. If I say I'm so dumb, and then I change it in settings to I'm intelligent, but I don't feel intelligent, it doesn't work. Also, maybe I'm not so intelligent. Maybe I haven't paid attention and I have to still figure things out. I still have to learn. I still have to become more mature, right? Because like I am still in progress. And also everyone's intelligent. There's different types of intelligence. But for me to understand which intelligent I am and then, develop that might take a while. So it might, just flipping what I'm currently thinking won't work because I don't think it to be true. I believe I am dumb. So then suddenly saying I'm intelligent, I'm lying to myself. Because actually my belief is still I am dumb. But I am divine. Well, that's not me believing I am divine. Guru tells me I'm divine. God tells me I'm divine. Do I believe it? Well, Guru says it, God says it. Must be true, even if I don't believe it. I can't be alive without divinity pulsating through me. Life itself is divinity. Still a belief. That I am divine is a truth, whether I believe it or not. I'm intelligent is subjective. Like I said, there's different types of intelligence. There's different levels of intelligence. It's subjective. I am beautiful is subjective. I am divine is a truth. I'm alive, that means divinity is there. And then once I go into settings and tell myself I am divine, In divinity, there is beauty. In divinity, there is intelligence. In divinity, there is nobility. In divinity, there's love. There is potential for success, potential for whatever it is I want. So let I am divine be the basis from which I build myself. Why? Because there's a little bit of Om in all of us. So even if I am dumb, even if I am ugly, even if I am irresponsible, even if I am careless, even if nobody on this planet likes me, it's okay. I still have Om. I can build. I'll build beauty, I'll build intelligence, I'll build goodness, I'll build maturity, I'll build. Because I am work in progress. So what the Western world does is they flip it. I am so dumb. You start doing the affirmation, I am intelligent. It doesn't go deep enough. If I'm divine, I have to understand that there's different types of intelligence. At least one of them I will have. At least one. So you start with that and you build it. Try. Does that help answer your question on how to go to settings? But you have to be aware. You have to be aware of what you're feeling. You have to be aware of what you're thinking. You have to catch that thought. Delete. Choose to delete it. It doesn't get deleted, you will think it again. But every time you think it, choose to delete. Choose to replace. It's work. It needs you to be alert and clear in your thinking. It's the highest form of tapas. So I have done this journey. I started with very low self-esteem. Most people don't believe that, but it's true. NRI in Australia. And extremely, extremely, what's the word? Empowering. When we come to see that we are divine. There's no, I don't need to be anything. I already am. And I feel I need to be something. It's very tiring. It's very daunting. It has to be, I already am. I can't see it, but I already am. Okay.